Hi there, boys and girls. Welcome to Storytime with Mr. Riddle. I hope you had a great July 4th yesterday. Today we're going to read the story Plains of the Plains. It's written by Allison Regier. She graduated from Pond Creek Hunter a few years ago. And illustrated by Hannah Toohey. Listen to the sky, and you'll be able to find him. Tommy, that's weird. How can you listen to the sky? Shh, just be silent, Matt. I quit asking questions and mimicked Tommy's silence. After about a minute, I heard a smooth humming getting louder and louder. It seemed to be coming from the sky, so I looked out of one of the big windows of the terminal. I looked up, and there he was. It was my favorite part of the day. My dad swooped gently onto the runway and taxied the airplane up to the terminal. I was waiting anxiously behind the gate for the propeller to stop spinning so I could go see my dad. My brother and I knew it was never safe to approach the airplane while it was still on. My brother and I scurried toward our father. "Hi, Dad. How was your flight?" I asked. "It was great early this morning, but it started getting windy, so Pancho and I decided to land until it calms down up there." "Can you not fly while it is windy?" "Well, you can, but the product we put on the crop cannot be applied in more than 10-mile-per-hour winds. It is also important that we do not let the product spread to other crops, because it might hurt that crop." "Can the spray nozzles not handle the wind?" asked Tommy. "Well, they aren't as big as what you would think. Go look underneath the wings of the plane, and you'll see how tiny that they are." Tommy and I went and looked underneath the plane to see what Dad was talking about. Just about that time we reached the airplane, Pancho came up out of the hangar. Pancho is my dad's helping hand for flying. He flies one airplane in one field while my dad flies in another, so more work can get done. "Hi, Pancho," I said, as I ducked under the wing of the plane to get a better look at the spray nozzles. "Howdy, boys. Are you working on the plane for your dad?" he asked jokingly. "Nope, just looking at the spray nozzles." "Alrighty, well, you boys have fun," said Pancho, as he walked away in his pointy leather boots. As I was walking out from underneath the wing, I saw a number on the side of the plane. I just looked confusingly at it until Tommy came by my side. "What are you staring at?" Tommy asked. "This big number," I said, pointing toward the plane. Dad must have seen Tommy and I gawking at the number, because he came up behind us and answered our question without even asking. "It's called an N number, boys. You see, it has the letter N in front, and 5 digits following it. In the United States, every airplane must have an N number to be legal. The N number is like a birth certificate. It shows what the name of the plane is and who owns the plane." That is so cool that airplanes have a name like we do," I told my dad. "Yes, it is pretty neat how it all works, son. I would love to stay here with you boys, but it looks like the windsock is calming down. It is about time for Pancho and I to head out again." "I want to go with you," I said. "Yeah, me too," said Tommy. Dad and Pancho chuckled. "You know you can't come with us, boys. There's only one seat in the spray plane. That is just one of the many features that makes a spray plane different from a regular plane." Tommy and I sighed in unison. "Well, can we at least pretend we are flying it just for a little bit?" I asked. Dad looked down at his watch and back up at us. "Okay, but just for a minute. Matt, you come with me, and Tommy, you go with Pancho." "Woohoo!" I exclaimed. Dad hoisted me up into the cockpit. "This is too cool," I thought to myself. The inside of the airplane looked so complicated, with all of its gadgets, switches, and meters. It was overwhelming, but fascinating all at the same time. I grabbed the stick that was used to navigate the airplane. I imagined myself in the air and suddenly swooping down to spray fields of wheat, corn, beans, and Milo. Dad, do you know what all these buttons and switches do? I sure do. How do you know all this stuff? Well, you have to go to school and get certified to know everything that is going on in here. That'd be fun to be inside the cockpit pretending to fly the airplane. Oh, well, I bet that is the coolest, most fun school there is. It is fun to learn about planes, but it is hard work too. I'm going to be a pilot just like you, Dad. Dad smiled and brought me down from the cockpit. Well, if you work hard enough, you can do whatever you want, including becoming a pilot. Now it's time for Dad to take off so I can help farmers with their crops. Okay, well, I'll see you when you get back. All right, son. Now you and Tommy go on inside and help your mom take care of your little brother. Yes, sir. I love you, Dad. He smiled. I love you too, son. Tommy met me at the gate, and we walked into the terminal. Hi, Mom, I said. Hi, Matt. I saw Dad let you get into the airplane. Yes, it was so cool, Mom. She grinned at my satisfaction and then turned toward the runway. Tommy grabbed our little brother, Timothy, and we sat down on the couch that faced the runway. We watched our dad taxi onto the runway. Here he goes, I said, as the airplane gained speed. All three of us watched as our dad took off in the plane to help the crops of the plains. Let's see, here's a diagram of an agriculture airplane. The engine, the chemical hopper, right here, behind the engine where they pour in the chemical, the cockpit, the tail, let's see, the horizontal stabilizers, vertical stabilizer, spray nozzles, that's right behind the plane, on the little wings, and the wing. It says a propeller makes up the front part of the airplane. Since this piece of the airplane is important because without its help, the airplane cannot fly. Propellers are made out of heavy-duty metal, and they can be extremely dangerous. When they are turned on, it is always important to remember to wait until the propeller is completely done turning, and the airplane is shut off before approaching the airplane. Here show the different crops and fields. It says crops can be damaged if crop dusters spray in too high of winds. This picture has shown what happens if the wrong chemical is applied to the wrong crop. This picture is what a wheat crop that was damaged because chemicals drifted. It means they went too far when they were applied in the wind. It says the spray nozzles are located underneath the wings of the airplane. The nozzles are attached to the plane by a long metal piece called the spray boom. Sometimes a nozzle can be defective or break, but they are detachable so they can be repaired or replaced. Without spray nozzles, the airplane could not function as an agricultural spray plane. These two pictures above are just a couple of examples of N numbers. The letter N was designated to the United States in 1919 as the world identifier. In other words, no other country in the world has the letter N in their airplane name. The N number for every legal airplane is documented with the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA. Can you see the N numbers right back here? Right here, the next picture is the cockpit. It's where the pilot sits. In an agricultural plane, the cockpit is very tight and compact. The inside of the spray plane can be very busy, but the pilot has special training so he or she knows what to do with every switch and button. The windsock. The windsock is a small part of an airport that plays a major role. A windsock can give the pilot a visual of how much wind is outside and which direction it is coming from. Just like those kites that we talked about. See how it catches the air? Shows which way the wind is blowing. If it's not blowing very much, the windsock may be laying kind of beside the pole. If it's blowing a lot, the windsock will be sitting straight out. The pilot has to be careful when he lands so that the wind doesn't push him off to the side of the runway or make him crash. Here's some vocabulary words we learned in the story. Cockpit. It's a noun, a space usually enclosed in the forward part of an airplane, containing the flying controls, instrument panel, and a seat for the pilot. Hangar. It's another noun. Any relative wide structure used for housing airplanes or airships. Navigate. It's a verb, to direct or manage aircraft on its course. Propeller. A noun. A device having a revolving hub with radiating blades for propelling the airplane. Taxied. Another verb. To move from where the airplane is parked to the runway. Or it could also be to move off the runway to a parked position. Terminal, a noun. A building at an airport that usually provides a sitting area, restrooms, food and drinks, and offices. This building usually serves pilots and passengers. Windsock, another noun. A tapered tubular cloth vane, open at both ends and having a larger end and a fixed ring pivoting to swing freely. Installed at airports or elsewhere to indicate wind direction and approximate intensity. Awesome. There's also some supplemental questions, writing prompts, and even a bibliography. Excellent work, Allison. We sure enjoyed reading Plains of the Plains. Get it? Plains of the Plains? The flat grasslands? Thank you for the story, Allison. I hope everybody else enjoyed it too. I'm sure we did. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.